Okay, guys. Pete's here. You guys know Pete? Hey, Pete.
Hey.
Hey guys, Justin Brock here with Medicare Gurus, and Pete is in town, so we hired Pete to come in. First of all, it's always fun to hang out with Pete. We always have a great time, but wanted to dive into some more complex life scenarios and to really get my team familiar with some of the stuff that Pete's done and doing, and some of the things that agents that he's trained are doing very successfully. Cool thing about it was Pete came in and talked this morning about Social Security income pitch, some other things, and it's a lot of the same stuff that he's going to be sharing at the mastermind here at the end of this month. I'm just really, really excited that so many of you get to see these pitches, because I think it's a concept sale or a unique way to present something that really refreshes the life insurance meeting or consultation or pivot. So, Pete, I want to know what point and how did the idea of pivoting from the way you were trained to sell life insurance to what made you pivot and say, I'm going to do this a different way? How did that happen?
First thing was like, you got final expense, you got mortgage protection, and those are conceptual sales like we were talking about, but everyone's heard of them in the mainstream. Most clients that you run into know what final expense is, right? They might not know the product that you're backing up. So in being in the final expense market, I was kind of sick of getting $50, $60, $70 a month checks, right? For life insurance, I was like, how do I get 200, 300, 500, 700? And that comes with some extra conceptual selling.
Yeah.
Now, it's the same product, it's the same service that most of these other people are delivering, but they're not building enough value within a concept that makes sense to the client, so they're getting little piddly commission checks, you know?
Yeah. Well, so you kind of reverse engineer it and start by pivoting into what the problem is. One thing, people not being aware of what happens to one person's check or Social Security check when the other spouse passes away, creating that problem that maybe they didn't think they had, which creates the need for a larger benefit. The need was already there before you created it. You're just highlighting it and then filling it. And then also the way you're filling it by showing percentage of income to protect higher percentage, and not to give away too much, because we're talking about it, but the way that you present it is really cool. I really like it. I think we're going to be able to close some bigger cases off of that for sure. It's going to help our team out, help our agents out. So that's awesome. So you pivoted into Medicare this last fall. How'd you do?
Exact apps, not sure, but between MedSup, PDP, and MA, probably like 80 something during AEP.
Yep.
Total, got $250,000 in annuities out of it, because that's part of my bread and butter, and about $8 or $9 grand in life. So not too terrible. I enjoyed it. It was pretty fun. I did it mostly in the field, and now I'm pivoting again to telesales so that I can replicate it with other people, build out a call center and all that good stuff. So I'm learning as I go, but it was also like trial by fire. I was blowing you up, asking you questions. I was asking like Peter Walker questions and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you kind of just have to jump into it, and that's it, and learn by doing. Because I've been doing life and annuities for 10 years, and it just comes second nature. It's the same thing with you guys in the training today. Most of you guys are Medicare experts and not cross-selling life. Well, just jump in and try. You're going to fall on your face a couple times.
So as the president of the sales kind of job, your job is to go out, figure out how to do something, train some other people how to do it, say, oh, look, it can be done. And then before you know it, they're like, okay, now do it this way.
Right.
You have to you're like running out like Braveheart, paving the way.
Yeah.
And then showing everybody how to do it.
So. Yeah, it's a combination of like me getting all the mishaps out of the way before we try to replicate it to masses.
Well, a lot of times when you're good at sales organically or without having to So I guess when you go into something to sell, like we already know you can sell.
Right.
So as long as we can work the kinks out, it should work. And if the kinks aren't there, someone who's not as good at selling can still sell it because you've already worked the kinks
Exactly.
out. So,
like with supplements, right? I lean towards supplements, at least initially, because one, I thought MA was super complicated, which it's not, but that was my own thought process.
Yeah.
And MedSup was my clientele. Now I'm dealing with people that can afford $500-$600 a month for life. They could probably afford a Plan G. Right?
Yeah.
So I actually went after my own either book of business or warm market first, because if I fall on my face with them, it's okay.
Yeah.
And then go on transitional leads.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of times when we bring new agents into the office as an LOA, that's how we train them and they get them to call current clients to check on them and service their needs. And so like sometimes they're trying to shop their rate for them and stuff like that. Because again, if they don't do a good job, at least they were still just checking on the client.
Right.
Like it's not going to hurt anything. So, but it gets them comfortable having the conversation, seeing what questions they have, and getting comfortable answering those questions. So that's a good way to start.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing that you noticed about the guy that sells all MA?
Yeah.
The guy that sells primarily MedSup.
I feel like the people, just from a 10,000 foot overview, not knowing anything about Medicare, the people that are selling MAs seem to not be salespeople. One, right? No offense to all you out there in MA land, but MA is like the easiest thing on the planet. Like
it's not.
It's like a joke, right? As long as you have a system in place and technology backing it up. I mean, MedSups are easy too, but on the MedSup side, it's way more of a sale because you're convincing them to spend money, whether it's less money or more money, whatever.
Yeah.
So a sale is still being made. But the tendency for people selling MedSups is the cross-sell. You have the opportunity right then and there to tack on dental, vision, hearing, life insurance, whatever, right? On the MA side, most people get an MA and they're like, see you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they spend so much time, from my perspective too, and we sold 770 something MAs. Last year was our biggest MA year yet, and I want to sell plenty more. It's pretty profitable. There's plenty of clients that's what they want, that's what they need. So definitely not knocking it, but sometimes they spend so much time harping on low cost that then they make it difficult on themselves to actually make someone buy something from them because they've started, talking about zero premium, zero dental, free this, free that. And then it's like, oh, and you should buy this $70 a month hospital indemnity plan to cover all your holes.
Right.
What do you mean holes? You said you've been saying free this whole time. So they make it difficult. Now, I think, we had, I'd say, the biggest hospital indemnity plan year we've ever had in our own office and then our downline. So I think a lot of the MA agents are now starting to circumvent back into being able to cross-sell that MA. And I think what happened with final expense guys who are used to selling a premium to really poor people.
Yeah.
When they pivoted to MA, they were like, I have a free product. You can't say it's free? That's fine. Like, it's zero. It costs zero. Do you want it? It becomes a very, very, it is a very easy sell. By the same accord, though, because it's so easy, it's easy to lose your business, too.
Yeah.
Especially if you're out, like, working direct mail and getting it, because there's not typically a great relationship built. And I think eHealth learned that this past year. They said that their MA broker sales, I guess, didn't do that well. But I think what's happening is a lot of their sales are getting churned by other up-and-coming call centers, other brokers. And so they're like, well, hey, we had our best year yet. We've captured this much. But by the way, while we were capturing that, we lost 30% of our book.
It's also hard on the MA side too because I feel like best is such a relative term. Like it's an opinion because this may be better in terms of your max out of pocket that you see on like Sunfire, and then you get into the benefits and this one has better OTC and you're like, which one do you want?
OTC, dental, vision, you could choose which value add is more important to someone, almost based on how they feel that day and how you present it.
Yeah, and I've talked to some agents that are like, it depends. In this presentation, screw OTC benefits. In this presentation, you don't need dental, and they're selling the same thing
Depends
against
on what
each other.
they're selling against.
Right,
but then they go to the reverse sales and they just present it the opposite way.
Yeah.
Because they're just trying to get the client on the books.
Which can lead to super retention issues in the future because if you are selling in that regard, someone else can go behind you and sell the same way, just opposite.
I would sell absolutely like which one like if you're doing MA and you're looking for retention, you got to break down all the core benefits, ask them which one's most important to them, and if that happens to be the one that they already have, try to cross-sell them.
Right.
Try to pivot to different sales, because if you're flipping an MA by presenting it in a way just to get them to agree with you, and then they're going to find out, oh, I just lost $800 a year in dental or
Right.
whatever that I had before, you're going to lose them. And not only will you lose them in CMS, somebody might file a complaint on you or something like that, and it's just an annoyance to deal with. Now, if you write enough MAs, you're going to get a complaint regardless. That's just the way it is with that market.
Yeah.
So, MA mid-sup. So when we were talking about the pivot to the life sale from Medicare to life, you said out of that bunch you did about 250,000 annuities. That life side you were doing mostly med-sup, which takes out the compliance
Right.
side of it.
Yep.
So we're talking about that. What did you feel that the acumen was from the client? Like what was the receptiveness rate to when you began that transition? Like how many people were like, we don't really want to talk about that right now out of...
No, I would say I cross-sold 70, if not maybe a little bit higher percent med-sup to life, or med-sup to annuity, or med-sup to both. One, because you're building the trust factor, but two, you're kind of fact-finding it all at the same time. My Social Security income benefit pitch that we went over today that I'll show you guys at the mastermind, it's part of a fact finder, kind of mentally. I don't use a fact finder, I have a little yellow pad. But so the transition kind of is seamless, and it sounds like it's part of my job to get all of this information that I'm going to leverage later to cross-sell you a product.
Yeah.
But the
receptiveness
is huge,
through the roof.
and their
So
shields are down.
even like with you closing 70%, I imagine the other 30% were just we're going to think about.
Yeah, they're good or whatever, which fine if you.
How many people said, "How dare you bring that up? Deal's off."
Not one.
Okay.
And
I think that's what people are legitimately afraid of. Like, well, if I bring up money, like they're gonna be so turned off by it.
Well, that was the thing
No.
we were talking about the other, either Sell or Be Sold or 10X or something, right? One of Cardone's books, he talks about how easy it is to get second money. Well, if you're taking someone from an F to a G, before I even talk about, because again, I know nothing, I'm brand new to this, my common sense is saying, all right, well, if I'm taking them from an F to a G and it's saving them $85 a month, I'm not letting them have that right away. I'm not even going to tell them that the savings is out. And then I'm going to do the full fact finder, see what other things I can uncover, and spend that money and still give them some savings.
Yeah.
So getting that additional sale is easier when you lock in the Medicare initially, rather than just getting a life insurance sale day one.
So we do the same thing. So if somebody's saving $85 a month going from an F to a G or F to N or whatever, and before I say, we're going to save $85 today, I say, well, let's see what other needs are there. Fact finder. Let's say it ends up being final expense policy, and I say, so today we can get you from this F to the G. The only difference is you have the $203 deductible now, but we're saving way more than enough to offset that, and we're actually able to get you a $10,000 final expense benefit in this amount and still save you enough to offset the $203 deductible.
Right.
So you look at both of them together, and then you're telling them it's two policies.
Yeah.
You're not packing. There's like an old homage of like a
Package
package
bundling.
selling. And saying you have to buy these. We're not saying that, but we say, well, what we can do is get you this benefit, for this much less, with a $10,000.
Yeah, based on the savings you have today, Joe and Mary, I could also include a $10,000 final expense policy, and you'll still keep $35 in your pocket.
So one thing you could look at, and here's where the numbers are weird. So life premium or commissions related to life premium is typically going to be higher than just about any other products out there. The receptiveness rate to that cross-sell on a Plan F to a Plan G, $85 down, to a dental, vision, and hearing policy is going to be really high.
Right.
It's guaranteed issue. I can tack it on the same app a lot of times. I can sell that. So I can say, okay, we can get you this Plan G. Sometimes I'm going G to G, so I'm still saving them money.
Yeah.
okay, we can get you your same Plan G you have right now with dental, vision, and hearing coverage too, and it's going to be $5 less than what you're paying now. So I can lock that in. I got the dental, vision, hearing. Then this is what I'm thinking is best for us.
Yeah.
To pitch that still the way we are.
Yep.
But then saying now there's a huge problem that we see people having in our industry a lot with their Social Security income.
Yep.
And then pivoting into that, and almost like separating the thing, like, you trust me, I fixed this for you.
Right.
I fixed it. Saved you a little bit of money and got you dental, vision, hearing. Now, and so instead of capturing that savings with life premium, make the life a whole separate conversation that's just piggybacking off of it. I'm wondering if I would close the same percentage doing it that way as if I tried to use the savings. So, and honestly, I think what has to be done.
I think it depends on the strength of like, you would crush it, right? I think a lot of lazy people will take what we just said and say, all right, well, I'm going to switch people from a G to an N, and I'm going to roll the savings into life, and I'm going to be done at 2 apps.
Yeah.
But if you push, like you just said, and get a DVH plan, whatever, right, and then go the extra mile and go for that third life insurance, quote unquote, sale, I think you're right. Ton more premium.
I think in the long run you make more that way.
Yeah.
And you insure more risk that way.
Right.
So I think that's the way we're going to try it. But I'm gonna like really talk to people in the office how they're doing, and like, I can see it working differently for different people. If somebody can only get that one cross sell and that's their only aptitude for it, or if time is an issue like an AEP or something, I might go life only rather than DVH.
Right.
And then maybe even throw DVH on the back end. By the way, did you want the dental, vision, and hearing? Instead of do you want fries with that concept? Because dental is like I tell people that dental is the only vanity insurance product.
Right.
Because people want nice teeth.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't feel like insurance. It feels like, oh, now I can get my free teeth cleaned.
Yeah.
I get teeth whitened or whatever. So
you also have it too. It's a contact sport. So like you said, if they're on the phones all day long and they're doing 20 presentations a week and they only cross sell 2 SSI, that's like $5,000 in premium a week.
Right.
Some agents don't write that in a month. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be like writing multiple of the final expense apps we're getting right now, which we're probably only getting like 2 of, but they're just not bringing it up enough.
Right.
So I think you give them confidence to bring it up. I'm excited for people in Memphis to see it. And you're going to be speaking on those things. You're going to tell your deer story.
Okay.
On stage. I don't know how many F words we can throw in there or not, but
we'll beep them out.
We'll have to get like the temperature from the room where they're like, who here is okay with F word? Okay, Pete, go there. But
if you pay for my referral training, you get the story for free.
You get the story for free. That's it. So awesome. How can people find out more about Pete Fournier?
So go to PeteFournier.com, Pete, and then F as in Frank, O-U-R, and as in Nancy, IER.com, or follow me on social media, just Peter J. Fournier, pretty much.
It's French.
Everywhere. Super French.
Fournier.
Fournier.
Peach,
like filet.
Peach Red or Fournier. But yeah, PeterFournier.com. Everything we've done together has been spot on. He actually gave what I thought was one of the greatest presentations at 8% last year. Super excited to see him at Memphis talk and get some people fired up about selling life, because all these Medicare agents, I know tons of them are sleeping on the life side.
Yeah.
And even the ones that are selling life probably aren't selling big enough.
No.
They're probably selling smaller burial style policies. So awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know in the comments what questions you have for Pete, and we'll relay them to him. Talk to you later.